Now back to the work at hand. Obviously we're here at the factory, and in the background the guys are working hard, and everybody's working hard. You've just come back from Misano, a 2-day test there. To be fair, compared to perhaps where the season finished on such a high at Portugal, and where you started, which was literally the day after that, it's actually been quite an uphill battle. And in Australia things didn't go as well, and Assen was definitely a turnaround for you personally, but still the bike has got a lot of work to do, and in the press that's what you're saying.
Yeah, we started with basically a new engine and a whole new chassis, mainly on the subframe, on the fuel tank and the seat, and we tested them separately. Because we had so much to develop through the winter time with engine and with chassis, we couldn't actually put them all together in one package. And we got to Australia and we'd only brought the new stuff. And unfortunately, the combination between the new engine and new chassis, we had a few problems with it. But the problem was we were in Australia, so to get the other parts out there to make the amends, it was difficult. So Australia was always going to be difficult. We knew that from the test because we found the problems in the test, which was the week before the race. But you know, with good grip in qualifying, we qualified on the first 2 rows, so we knew that the bike package itself was strong. We just needed to iron out the issues, and then obviously the crash in Portugal in qualifying put me 15th on the grid, and I got back up to 6th, but the lap times weren't too bad again, so I knew again that the pace wasn't too bad that I'd got. And then Valencia obviously getting the first podium, which was great for the team, and then the double podium in Assen. It does show the improvement that we're making, but I think without breaking my hand in Australia and the injuries and the crashing in Portugal qualifying, I think we could have had a stronger start as well.
So if you can define a little bit what you learned at Misano and what you were trying to dial out, because you mentioned stability and you mentioned balance. You might be able to get the front right, but then it's the back, or you might be able to get the back right. You know, it's kind of like one thing after another. But if you can, what have you learned from Misano and what were you trying?
Well, the bike lacks quite a lot of weight on the rear to find the grip, but you know, this can, in most cases, in most bikes that you ride, lose the feeling for the front to get it to turn, the more weight they put on the rear, obviously. So we were trying to get a compromise, but at this stage, in a test like Misano, you don't have to compromise. We can try and fix both at the same time, and we really worked hard with the balance, with a few different linkages and suspension settings, and we started to improve a lot. So the quickest time that they had there last year was a 1:37.3, and in the test I did a 1:35.6. So that just shows you just how much we are improving, but it also it shows you how much we needed to improve from last year, of how much everybody else has progressed, because the race times this year are much quicker than last year, and I'm sure with our race times we'd have won all the races so far this year with what we've done. So it's just a case of keeping up with everybody's development.
How much are you enjoying being back in the fray in World Superbikes? I seem to remember your championship winning years were always highly competitive, but this year it seems everything is even higher than perhaps it was last year. You must have enjoyed a race weekend like Assen.
Yeah, I think it's the depth of field that we've got now. We've got 2 different manufacturers from 2007 when I last won. We've got Aprilia and BMW. And not only is the 2 manufacturers, they're 2 manufacturers that are at the front. You know, Max Biaggi and Camio are doing a great job on the Aprilia, and Troy Corser, Ruben's house is finding it a little bit difficult at the moment, but I'm sure he's going to get better as well. But those 2 new manufacturers up there, as well as the 7 British riders, and you know, to see all the Brits up there on the podium in both races in Assen was great for the British people. I think we're all looking forward to Silverstone this year, and you know, that's going to be my home race. I've got to concentrate on the team's home race this weekend, and I'll be looking forward to mine in Silverstone.
But the nature of the racing is also so close. I mean, it's almost like a British Championship or a mini moto race half the time. There were some overtakes there at Assen that were, you know, legendary almost. I mean, there was stuff of legend. It really was excellent stuff.
The track itself has always brought good racing, I think, Assen. It's a great fast track. And we didn't realise just how many places there were to overtake until Sunday, I don't think. But the battle I had with Camia, and after the second race, all the team was saying, "Oh, what a race!" And I was thinking, well, it wasn't bad, but you know, what I didn't realise was what's going on behind. Because for most of the race, I only had 2 or 3 guys in front of me, and obviously it doesn't look that busy. But once I watched the race back, I realised what they were talking about, because everybody was looking. I think there was 8 or 9 of us in the front group for most of it, and yeah, and all manufacturers as well, which is good about Superbike. You know, you've got Yamaha, Suzuki, Ducati, Honda, Aprilia, BMW. They're all up there with a chance, and I think any top rider could jump on any manufacturer at the moment and do a really good job, and it just means that the rules in World Superbike are working really well, so all manufacturers have got a good chance of challenging for the championship.
And how are you in terms of preparation for Monza and of course South Africa back-to-back? Your hands now healed, you're fully fit, and forgetting volcanoes, you're here on time and ready to go, right?
Yeah, I was originally going back to the Isle of Man in between the race from Misano, well, the test from Misano to here, but I went back to my place in France, luckily, because the Isle of Man shut a few days ago because of the volcano again. So I know Cal Crutchlow was stuck there, so he's had to catch the ferry over, and he's only just got here. So, but I believe everybody's here, and the race is going to go ahead, and I'm really looking forward to it. To go down that start and finish straight in sixth gear for, I think it's 7 or 8 seconds we're flat out for, and you know, over 200 miles an hour and braking for that first chicane. I believe it's changed from last year. The first chicane is a little bit faster, so hopefully it'll be a bit safer from the incident last year. But other than that, I can't wait. It's
going to be an interesting test both here and Kyalami. Very different tracks, but also for the first time we're going to see who's got the top speed. Everybody's talking about Aprilia. Would you consider them to be the biggest threat this weekend?
Yeah, I think Aprilia and BMW top speed have been strong for most of the season. But I don't think our bikes had too much of a problem top speed. From slow corners to acceleration, it's been a bit of an issue. But there's no real slow corners other than the first one. The fast chicanes going onto the straights, and the parabolic is a fast corner going onto the start and finish. So if we can keep it going, I think the bike's going to be strong here. But you know, we'll see. We're working hard to develop the bike. Misano went well. That was a bit of a bogey track for Yamaha last year, so I'm pleased that now isn't. And South Africa was also a difficult track for them as well. I haven't been there for 8 years, believe it or not, but 2002 was the last time I went there. But you know, if we can make it right at Misano, hopefully it'll also work in South Africa as well.
And finally, James, how are you settling in? This is the first time, I suppose, like you say, since you kind of signed the contract, that you've been here to meet the folks, to meet the mechanics, to meet everybody that's part of this wonderful little Monza team. And it is just that. It's a team that have come from a very small beginning, and Massimo Merigali, of course, the team manager, has been part of that. Do you get a sense of that when you meet everybody here?
Well, it's a little family business, because this guy here is my brother, who builds the engines as well. So it's got a nice tight-knit feeling to it. I've worked with some great teams over the years, and I've been fortunate to ride with great teams, because it does make a massive difference to the results. You can have the best bike in the world, but if you've not got the guys working on it, there's no chance. So it's but this team this year, I've got a new chief engineer, Frankie Carcetti, who I worked with GSE Racing back in the day, 01 to 03. And he's done a fantastic job with the bike. He also worked with Camia in British Superbikes with GSE Racing Airways. So he knows the bike. He worked with the R1 last year. He's got that experience, and it's really helped me along to understand the bike as well this year.
Obviously, Assen was a sign that JT is back, and definitely back to his fighting self, so to speak. That win can't be far away. How important will that first win back in World Superbikes be to you in terms of a confidence booster for your overall psychology, I suppose?
Well, it's nice to be up there consistently on the podium, and I know the old JT's coming back, because I was annoyed. So it's coming. The bike's coming along. We were one of the quickest guys in the test in Misano, and as I say, this weekend at Monza, Ben did well here last year. If he'd have had a bit more fuel in the tank, he'd have done really well. But hopefully that won't happen this weekend, and we can get his first win.
Great to see you, and good luck this weekend. Big weekend at Monza.
Cheers.